Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? This is Stormybman, and I am back. Yes, good afternoon and good late morning to some of you, depending upon where you are for this Sunday, February 9th, 2020. And welcome to Stormy B Man channel, where today I'm doing a little bit of a boxing talk. Post-fight, Brook versus Deluca from the Dazn app. I won't go into too much detail about that. These Dazn people, they do funny crap. They move funny out here in the streets. And they don't appreciate when we promote and talk about the fare that they offer. So I'll glaze over, just like they glaze over us. You understand? They don't think that we count. They don't think that we matter. So, because it's boxing, I'll do a little bit of my part, but I won't go in too much and I won't take too much of your time. I thought I'd come in here this day and try to be a little bit more subdued because my post-fight stream from last night kind of ended in a manner of which Stormy B Man got in his feelings about a few things. So, but I'm a grown ass man. I've lived enough of life where I can let it be known what my feelings is. I don't give a damn. You understand? So, just like people who don't give a damn care to listen or whatever, I don't give a damn, but I'm going to say it. So, how about that? You know what I mean? So, as I come to you this morning, I got my little backdrop of the lakefront of Chicago. Just a little bit of something for a more mellow effect. And some of you have been on the channel before. You kind of may have seen this little backdrop. You may have seen my little daytime stuff. I have a variety. Depends on the mood. It depends on the content. A lot of matters factor into why I do what I do. But then again, if you don't care, I don't care that you don't care. How about that? Anyway, salute to all who's out there. It says that we got about 8 people out there, but only 2 have shown up in the chat. We got Bonton South D-Town. He says, what's up? What's up with you, brother? Drew Titan says, yes, sir, listening in the gym. Oh, you in the gym now, huh? A little while ago, you was on the panel. What you doing, Drew? I told you I'm going to get you on here, man. Even if I have to drag you on here with your weights and dumbbells and everything, you're going to be on here with Stormy B. The African sci-fi scholar is out there. He says, Stormy B, salute to you, African sci-fi scholar. You were one of the few that were helping me out last night, because you kept it even keel. And I appreciate that, brother. I really do. And then the fact that you turn around right back this morning and come back and rock with Stormy B, man, that's good stuff there. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, we had I guess when you want to call it Central Time, it was an afternoon card from Dazn headlining a return bout of Kell Brook, who had been out quite a bit of a layoff, a little bit over a year. I think they said 14 months that he had last fought. And he took on Mike Deluca in a main event. Those two have a history. They've been in the gym with each other before, and they fought like it. But before we get to that, I want to have a little bit of where I offer my remarks on the opening bout that I saw off of that card. And it was another one of those occasions where here in boxing, you can see certain things shake out a certain kind of way, and if you've watched enough boxing in your life, it's like a revisiting of a situation that came up. And in that first bout I saw, it was Claudio Marrero taking on Kid Galahad. Okay, and these guys are featherweights, you know, in the same weight class as Gary Russell and King Tug. You know, matter of fact, King Tug had fought Marrero before. But Galahad, being a fighter from the UK, I noticed that early in the bout, as he went about his business, coming in with a record of 26-0. I mean, I'm sorry, 26-1 with 16 KOs, 15 KOs. Galahad remind me a lot of somebody I had seen before in the past, particularly in this fight. I haven't seen a lot of his fights, but it was something that it brought back to memories of something I had seen before. And as I break that down, I'll mix in what I had seen before with what he was doing. It was it was quite so similar that I couldn't help but just outline it. And I picked up the phone, I called one of the brothers, and I said, "Hey man, this is an absolute repeat of something I've seen recently, and it's a fight that I had talked about on the air." So it's just funny, you know. We talk about the history of the sport a lot. We talk about, you know, past fights and, you know, people who have fought, and it's just interesting how things play out, because I guess in that square arena, a finite amount of things can transpire, you know, and you go long enough and they repeat themselves. Before I go further, I want to acknowledge we got BBG out there. He says, "Salute Stormy. I see the Brook fight. He was looking sharp. Brutal KO." GB Boxing says, Brook's a parasite looking for one last payday. He can't spin "I'm the best now" that all my career trash with the real boxing fans. Okay, I'm kind of having a hard time understanding that quote. But African Sci-Fi Scholar says, "For sure, bro. You are one of my favorite channels. Respect. Respect to you, man. Appreciate you." BBG says, "Marrero was styling, but not doing nothing." Yeah, let's get to that, Marrero. Kid Galahad looked like Kid Galahad looked like Lloyd Hunnigan to me in his match last night. The way he fought, the way he looked to roughhouse Marrero and take the fight to him, take the fight out of him. And because the referee allowed such a great deal of his physicality, Mr. Marrero looked the worse for wear. And initially he got angry and he fought angrily. And when that didn't work and the ref still allowed for some of the foul play to be implemented by Galahad, the only thing he could do after that is he couldn't measure up with what he was contesting against. So he quit on his stool by the 9th round, you know. And it brought back shades of the fight between Lloyd Hunnigan and Donald Curry. Donald Curry, who at the time was pound for pound top fighter, unified welterweight champion, and was the you know he, the Lone Star Cobra. He looked like a fighter on the cusp, and he was even calling out Marvin Hagler at the time. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't want any parts of him, and it looked like Curry might be on his way, if he just got past Hunnigan, to a showdown with Marvelous Marvin Hagler. In the fight, Lloyd Hunnigan took the fight to Curry with a barrage of aggressive punches and combination. He was pushing Curry around. He was backing Curry up. He was doing a lot of things that we hadn't seen people do with Curry, because Curry had a patient counterpunching style, but he was deadly accurate with his punches. And so therefore, a lot like Guillermo Rigondeaux in his matches, he didn't throw high volume punches, but he was so precise that when he did launch his offense, a lot of people couldn't stand up to it. He had quick hands. I won't say fast hands. He had quick hands, and he could counter quickly. A very good left hook, decent right hand, and he didn't use a lot of wasted energy moving around, but he knew how to position himself with angles and things like that. Donald Curry was a real good fighter. But Hunnigan in this fight took the fight to him and was aggressive. He was roughhousing. And in last night's fight with Galahad and Marrero, I saw a lot of the same. It wasn't that Marrero was fighting like Donald Curry, but he was the Curry in this situation where Galahad was getting in close, using elbows, forearms, raking his gloves on his face. He was just doing some roughhouse tactics on the inside that looked innocent enough, but if you know boxing, man, he was roughing him up. And it showed after like 5 rounds, because it wasn't like he landed a great deal of punches initially. It was from what was, head butting in there and all of that. And the ref, he warned him a couple of times. But basically, it was a UK ref. And it's like they kind of let it go. And Marrero got angry in the second round, kind of gritted his teeth and went after him, similar to like when J-Rock went after Rosario after realizing that Rosario was edging him. And the thing about it was, if your cornerman can't communicate to the ref that the roughhouse tactics need to stop or whatever, then the cornerman has to send you out there with a plan to counter what the gentleman is doing. And what would have served Marrero better would have been had he began to drop a few of those punches south of the border against Galahad on the opposite side. If the ref is on your left side, you drop it on the right side. If the ref is on your right side, you drop it on the left side. If the ref is behind you, you put it right up there in the middle, right in the ball section of the cup. You could do some things, but it's like, again, tactics and strategy and things like that. I've told you many occasions that these young men don't know nothing about fighting, man. They don't. Now, Mr. Galahad was doing some roughhouse tactics because somebody had shown him some things to do in a fight and whatnot like that. But if someone has been shown what to do to counter that, that would have ended very soon, the stuff he was trying. This is why I say a lot of these guys, they come into the sport and they can make their way up to titles and even, attain one. But that doesn't mean he's a champ. That doesn't mean he knows what he's doing. That doesn't mean he has a full toolbox and he's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. Because as I hearken back to Mr. Donald Curry, same thing. The Lone Star Cobra was a very good fighter at the height of the sport, very good amateur. But when Mr. Hunnigan started doing those things to him that he hadn't had done to him before, Curry took a shot. He started throwing some heavy shots, trying to get Mr. Hunnigan out of there, right? The Ragamuffin man, okay, who was in there to win it. And he wasn't able to match that intensity. He wasn't able to match the sense of going for it. And ultimately, Donald Curry quit on his stool. Quite similar to last night. Didn't come out for the next round. I think it was the 7th, 8th round, like that. Forgive me. I thought it was a later round, like the 9th round. But the thing about it was, he realized that the other guy just was tougher than him. And he submitted to that. You know what? There are a lot of guys out there tougher than me. Okay? But if I'm going to bite your nose off, I'm going to bite your nose off. Okay? You might beat the shit out of me. You might knock me down a few times. But I'm going to get up and say, nigga, I got your nose in my mouth. You understand? That's a fighter. You have to be determined to do what you're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. Okay? Because that's what they know. That's what they have been brought along for. But you could do what you can do too. And a lot of times, when you're not prepared to deal with the onslaught of what is out there and what can potentially take place in a match, you have to be able to improvise. And in this fight, Marrero, who had fought King Tug, okay, and lost to him in a very competitive fight between the two. Marrero, he has good hand speed. He throws good combinations. But I think he has a problem separating being a fighter and being a dude, you know? Because I remember after the second round of tussling and everything in there, when Kid Galahad went over there, the bell rang, and he stuck his glove out like to touch gloves, like, good round. And Marrero touched gloves with him. What you doing? He done raked his gloves all over your face and put his elbow in your mouth and everything, and you don't touch gloves with that guy? The only glove touching you need to be doing is putting your glove through his face when the bell ring for the next round. Ain't no good sportsmanship no more. He came out. He started it. So you were supposed to finish it. Okay? That's what it's about in boxing, man. We have a few people that joined us. I'm going to take a moment and acknowledge. Sister Denise Wars has come in. She says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sister. Social Scientist is out. He says, what up, Stormy? Out there on the lakefront. Yeah, man. You like that? Yeah. Had my little Sunday morning music going too. The little easy jazz riff. You know, that's what it's about, man. Lay back. Because I was hot last night, man. I was hot. If you guys didn't catch that, you catch that replay on there. I was telling you some things that you need to hear. Ronald Finkley says, chop, chop, salute, Stormy B-Man. Chop, chop to you, bro. Harold Jones, he says, Lloyd did good that night, but I think that had more to do with Curry being off that night. No, it didn't, Harold Jones. Because then soon after that, you know, Curry got knocked out by Mike McCallum. And it's like, it was over for him then. Huh? Donald Curry was doing some of that other stuff, burning the candle at both ends and jumping in with some of them substances. You know, I'm telling you, y'all need to leave that shit alone. They put that shit out there to keep you bound where you are. Huh? The community as a whole. When you have so many partaking in the aspect of the things that erode you as a human being, how can you be in the fight? Huh? How can you push through and persevere? Huh? Chemically dependent. Think about that for a minute. BBG says Lloyd couldn't handle the success after that. Not many can. That's why not many remain on top, because it's a tough pill to swallow, to be up there and have the burden of what champion means and to defend as a champion, because all are gunning for you now. That's when you're really supposed to raise your game. But if you have an empty toolbox, you won't be equipped to deal with the adversity that faces. Because remember, most guys are guided and steered along the path to a championship. But if you're a seasoned person where you have suffered setback, if you have overcome and persevered and had to come from behind and different things of that nature, when you get out there and you're on top as a champ, a seasoned pro, he knows, oh, this guy, he gonna try to be dirty. Oh, this guy, he trying to be nice and play slick, but he gonna come at me like this. This guy think he gonna overpower me. This guy think he gonna tire me out by making me chase him around the ring and so forth and so on. You see, things that you have gone through already before getting that title. You could whoop all of them. Huh? A seasoned fighter. Laws D Punch Out TV says, salute, B-Man. Salute to you, Laws. Wookie Wook is out. He says, salute. And we got some other people speaking to one another. Ronald Finkley says, I kind of missed a lot of fights last night. I'm listening. I sent you a PayPal, OG. Oh, okay. My fault, brother. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. My little man he's not activated with my PayPal. He's activated with my StreamYard. So shout out to Ronald Finkley for the PayPal donation. I apologize that I didn't hear the chime for it, but I appreciate it all the same. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, brother. And Laws D says, yeah, the Ragamuffin Man. Yeah, man, that's what they called him, the Ragamuffin Man. He was out there singing and everything, and those guys were real characters, man, back in that era. They really were, but they could fight. Marlon Starling took care of Hunnigan, though. And guess who Marlon Starling was trained by, y'all? Eddie Futch. There you go. So, John Lejeune is out there. Says John Jones. What you coming in here mentioning that dude name for, John Lejeune? Ain't no mixed martial arts or none of that talked about on this channel, man. I don't do that. It's just like, you know, when you pulling them trash cans and everything, do we start talking about lab work with you? And BBG says, yeah, I loved it when the Ragamuffin Man won that fight. It was a party still. It sure was, man. He whooped the crap out of Curry, man. Curry sat on that stool. They said, do you want to come out, Mr. Curry? He was like, huh? They said, we got another round. You ready to go? He said, huh? He's like, are you quitting? He said, huh? Ref said, man, this guy don't want no more. Raised up Hunnigan's hand, and the Ragamuffin Man party began. That's exactly what happened, man. Just like that. Yeah. Wookie Wook says, I'm going to want more where that came from. And Denise Wards is speaking to Laws. Ronald Finkley says, Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce, April 11th. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Beaudrew Thibodeau Boxing is with the 2 boxing gloves. And Ronald Finkley is also announcing Kid Galahad, 26-1, 15 KOs, versus Claudio Marrero, 24, 3, and 17 KOs. 12 rounds, IBF featherweight eliminator, Dead Zone Boxing last night. Yeah, man. It was a good fight because what happened is we found out that Claudio Marrero don't have a lot in here, bro. And in boxing, that's your life. You got to have something here. Okay? You might not have the best of skills. You might not have the best of boxing IQ. But if you have spirit, heart, determination, you could be in the thick of things. A guy with skills can get tired. A guy with good sound boxing IQ can be tricked. Huh? But when a guy doesn't have it here, it's over. It's over. All you have to do is find where the measurement of here is and cut the lifeline. Cut the lifeline. That's why you hear a lot of people talking about Kell Brook today, that if he got in a real good big fight with somebody, he'll quit again. Because he's done it before. And each time you do it, it becomes easier. Because you realize that I've reached that end of the line. It's time for the line to be cut. Brook has done it a couple of times. Amir Khan has done it now. So there are guys who you just kind of wait. You sit there. You just wait. Because it's going to reveal itself. As long as somebody's turning up the heat. The pressure. That's when it transpires. Huh? Laws D Punch Out TV says, I didn't see any boxing yesterday. I know Kell won, but what did he look like? We'll get to that, Laws D. Huh? We were talking about Kid Galahad and Mr. Marrero first. You know what I mean? You know, you one of them brothers, you know, you want your dessert before the dinner. I understand that. But that ain't how it work here on the Stormybman channel, you understand? I bring the dessert out when I get ready. Yeah? Okay, Laws D? Yeah. Social Scientist says, I must have been away for a long time. The LDBC homies is talking about a Dazn card. Laugh out loud. Hey, if you listen to me from the opening of this, I said I was going to gloss over it. You know what I mean? But this fight card featuring Mr. Guerrero and Kid Galahad, it's a teaching moment here about what you're looking at. I mentioned that when I watched this fight, as it unfolded, I noticed that it took me back to a match from years ago that unfolded the same way. Championship boxing match between Donald Curry and Lloyd Hunnigan. This fight ended almost the same exact way. That's history. Having lived through that and be able to recognize it right away. Some of you guys think about Floyd Mayweather in your sleep. There are far more greater fighters out there who have done things and presented matches of quality to us. And damn it, on my channel, I'm going to acknowledge them. I don't care what nobody else does. I stay in my lane. My lane is talking boxing. Okay? They had some boxing on a Dazn card last night. Okay? And I've talked about Dazn card boxing in the past. And now, if I live, I will be talking about some in the future. Social scientists. Where the science at? Ronald Finkley says, shout out to the USA, to the UK, LDBC all day. Damn right. There's boxing from all over the world fighters from all over the world. People fight all over the world. You could get your ass kicked all over the world. That's a fucking multi-language means of communicating, putting your foot in somebody's ass. Universal language, they call it. The African Sci-Fi Scholar says, yesterday's show was fire. I had to check myself. Yeah, African Sci-Fi Scholar, I believe you, man. Me too. That's why I was like, I'm out of here. I gotta go. You know, I was hot. You know. BBG says, GRJ put on a clinic. Yeah, but I talked about him last night, BBG. Where was you at? You was in one of them other channels. That's what you was doing. You should have been over here with Stormybman, man, because I went through that in full detail, and I ain't revisiting. Ronald Finkley says, all good, salute. Ronald Finkley's laughing. Lars D, Punch Out TV says, facts, B-man, that's when boxers were boxers. Yeah, you know. Today's guys are Instagram models, huh? They show their underwear and shit when they wearing pants. How do you do that? That's another subject. Ronald Finkley says, salute Wook already. And Main Event Mark, he says, salute Stormy B, man. Can't stay, but hit that like for you, bro. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'm always suspicious about y'all who can't stay, huh? But I see y'all on all these other damn channels and everything in there from the beginning to the end, making comments, sometimes peanut comments. But when you stop by Stormy B, you got to just stick your foot in the pool and say, oh, I tested the water. Huh? Fair weather. BBG says the crowd was booing Rigo because he was too good. Listen, man. Yeah, talked about that too, BBG, but you wasn't there. Social Scientist says Charles Cornwell stopped Agaton in his first fight since Patrick Day. R.I.P. Agaton gave up during the break after round 4. It was a straight up war until that point. I didn't see that. Main Event Mark says, Lars D, chilling with my fam this fine Sunday. Hope you are well. Galahad and Brook looked nice yesterday. Can't stand Galahad, but had to give him his props. And Ronald Finkley says, that's social scientist. Really? Yeah, that's what I said, Ronald Finkley. And let's see what we got. I got to watch this one, though. Lars D is laughing at me. Bon South D-Town says, AJ have done it. Rigo and the Axeman has done it. And Lars D says, I hear you, B-Man. OG, he's laughing. Man, these chat comments are really coming in now. I see. Bon South D-Town says, Bukel Brook reason for quitting, a damaged eye. Some of the other guys quit for other reasons. I think it's different. There is some validity to what you say, Bon South D-Town. There is some validity to that. Lars D says, smack the like button. And African Sci-Fi Scholar says, Stormy B sounded like a mob boss or Big Red. My office hours are from 9 to 5, Lars. Yeah, man. You know what's funny? I don't like when guys come around and then they just try to change the subject. It's like I've heard on other channels, I'm not going to mention names, you know, and the brothers feel the same way. And it's like, we be talking on something. You can even see what my title is. And I always stick to what my titles are. And then here comes some dude in there saying, hey, but what about that fight between those two guys, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, that was like 3 weeks ago. Huh? Back to the lesson at hand. perfection is perfecting. So let me understand from an OG perspective. You understand? Anyway, but BBG says at Bottom South D-Town, I see Danny Williams complete a fight with a dislocated shoulders. No excuses. Social scientist is laughing out loud. And Ronald Finkley says, real is boxing talk. And social scientist says, of course, I just remember when y'all were boycotting Dazn. I wasn't boycotting Dazn. There may have been somebody boycotting Dazn, but remember, as an individual channel, we do have various takes and perspectives on things. But, you know, I mean, some people can boycott what they want to boycott or whatever, but I don't prescribe to just doing something foolish. I'm covering the sport of boxing. Y'all got me in this thing, and I'll be trying to do my best, okay, especially by staying abreast on what the action is. I can't talk too much if I haven't taken in the action. You understand? But when I take in the action and I can talk about it, you're going to hear about it, you know? I'm just trying to bring you good content, bro, and a different voice. Like I say all the time, I'm going to say something that ain't very popular or that people may not necessarily agree with. But that's what make the world go round. You know, I have a different perspective, you know, and I have some experience. So I have no problem speaking from that position, vantage point, you know. And I ain't on none of them chemicals or whatever. You understand? Speaking with a clear mind. That's another thing that people don't like. They don't like you when you ain't taking part in their chemicals and shit. There's enough out here to destroy your brain cells, but when you actively look to destroy your own, Stormy can't prescribe to that. Forget that. Ronald Finkley says Liam needs to bring his ass to the lion's den. PBC, run a checkup on him at ASAP. Laws D says, the African sci-fi scholar, I got told to sit down of the OG, bro. That's right, Laws. Take seat. What else we got here? Social scientist. Ronald Finkley says that social scientists, I know, but it's content. We're not going to exclude them from ducking elite fighters. African sci-fi scholar says, Stormy B, show stuff love to the brothers today. We need it. Ronald Haskins says, those are fair weather boxing fans. There you go. You know, those guys who was booing Rigondeaux, that's fair weather ass people. You understand? BBG says that Stormy B, man, I was asleep doing that live, bro, but I'll watch it back. Salute. Yeah, BBG, check it out. I think you'll like it. Do you know that that thing went up almost like 50% after I went off air? There's some people out there watching what I'm doing. I don't know. They don't come into the chat. They don't subscribe to the channel, but they be out there peeking through them damn bushes and blinds and shit. What that nigga talking about? You know? There they go. Ronald Finkley says, American boxers have all the important straps. The straps ain't important. It's the men that are important. You mean to tell me you strip Deontay Wilder of the WBC title and he still ain't the baddest man on the planet? Title don't mean shit. Not today it don't. Ronald Haskins says, there's no reason to quit in a fight. They ain't kids where you was told to say uncle. Yeah, you got a shield to go out on. You know, you just make sure that your cornermen bring it to the ring with you when you do your ring walk. African sci-fi scholar says, Laws D, Punch Out TV for sure. All love, family. LDBC. Man, this thing keep moving. As when I thought I caught up, it moves again. Social scientist says, Carol Brook looked a gatekeeper to me last night. Brown on Boxing says, salute B-Man. Welcome, Brown on Boxing. Miss Boxing is out there. She says, peace at Stormybman in chat. Peace to you, sister. Glad to see you. Ronald Finkley says, I'm going to say it again. We run boxing talk. And Lars D is saluting the queen. And Brown on Boxing says, you're not trying, B-Man. You are doing, and it's great work you are doing. I remember when I first heard you on Kurt Sugar versus the World, and you've been popping ever since. Hey, man, thank you for that, brother. Thank you. And thank Kurt Sugar for giving me a voice out there, man, to allow me to be heard on his platform. You know? Bon South D-Town says, try living with one eye before you compare a relocated shoulder. You said no excuses. I think a relocated shoulder is easy to repair than an eye. You lose altogether. Brown on Boxing says, salute to the chat and the LDBC. And Ronald Finkley is laughing. And Black Murderers Row, he says, Brown on Boxing says, Rigo is a terrific fighter that I personally think would whoop anyway if they fought next. That would be a good fight. But Rigo, his clock is ticking. You know, it's ticking. Bottom South D-Town says, this by design, that they say stuff to try to get you to change the subject because they know you are about to cook their favorite fighter, then try that with BFTB all the time, and he cooked also. That's right, man. You know, this is our platform. If you want to talk that stupid stuff you want to talk, build your own platform. You know, there'll be stupid people to come and listen to it. That's all. You know, it ain't hard. Ronald Finkley says, Rigondeaux can stay legit at 118 and 122. Clarissa Shields can stay elite at 154 and 160 and maybe 147. If she gets down to 147 and she's able to compete at that same, if not better, level of commitment and intensity of what she brings, that sister will be, before you know it, the GOAT. Curtis Anderson is out there. He says, salute, family. Salute to you, brother. And Bottom South D-Town says, most people talk down on Kell Brook are Terrence Crawford fans, or should I say Terrence Crawford protectors. Oh, here we go. But you could try to stir the pot, but it's my kitchen and my stove and my pot. So I guess you realize you could go sit down till the meal is prepared, Bottom South D-Town. Don't come in here trying that inflammatory crap. Don't you try it. Let's get back to the Dead Zone fight card. And in particular, let's get back to Mr. Brook. Okay. Kell Brook taking on Mike Deluca. You know, Mike Deluca and Kell Brook have a relationship in the boxing gym. You know, they go back a bit. You know, they fought fighters and helped one another prepare for fights and things like that. But this was a fight that, in stretches, it looked like it was two fighters on the same level. And we know that Brook is supposed to be above. Brook is supposed to be above Deluca. You know? And the way it looked, Although Brook had faster hands, Deluca wasn't as tough and didn't measure up championship wise. It was a workmanlike performance for Kell Brook. Very workmanlike. Workmanlike performances don't always get the job done. But in this case, because Deluca didn't bring as much to the table, Brook was able to outlast him. That's what really happened. Brook was able to outlast him. And he gave him rounds, but he turned up. He had another gear to turn it up to. Deluca didn't have a second gear. Um, Once Brook started throwing combinations and putting his punches together, you could see that Deluca didn't have much to offer in that aspect. He couldn't compete with him at that point. Deluca he's a journeyman, you know. He's a journeyman heavyweight, a guy that could come in and give you rounds and everything, and at the end of the day make you look spectacular when you get rid of him. But I do believe that Brook's better days are behind him. The inactivity, the things that have led to him being inactive, as well as the promotional group that he's with and the management that he's had. He hasn't had the right type of fights to elevate him or keep him in the graces of consideration in the sport. And the sport is passing him by. There are young fighters on the cusp that will smoke him like a pack of Newports. You understand? He's at the end of the day, end of the road, and in the mid to late 30s, in welterweight and junior welterweight division, that's old for those guys, and it's old because they cut weight. When you're a heavier guy and you get older and stuff like that, that's fine because you could put on that weight and this and that. But if you're an older guy at a lighter weight where you've had to take weight off, that's debilitating. Okay? And then there's a certain max out point. If Brook was going to go up to 154, he should have campaigned there after losing to Triple G. He should not have even fought Triple G. He should have went up to 154 and started gaining from that point, and maybe by now he'll be at 160. But he did it the wrong way. Eddie Hearn sold him out, and he has never been able to recover from that. He hasn't recovered. He's an opponent for other fighters now. He's not a guy he wants to claim he's looking for opponents unless he's going to stay over there. If he stays over there, then that's what it'll be. But that's not something that the people really want. They want to see him in those matches against those that matter. But he's not on that level anymore. He's not on that level anymore. Yep. Ronald Finkley says, Botten, Kell Brook is washed, bro. Agreed. Ron Haskins says, in boxing, you can lose anything. An eye, arm, shoulder. If you're not ready to fight till the end, find a different career. Ronald Finkley says, Clarissa Shields is the epitome of boxing, of excellence in boxing. And Bond South D-Town says, keywords most people didn't say, nobody in particular. It's funny how you throw comments out there and then get defensive behind somebody making a comment on your comment. See, I don't take it personal because I understand what's going on. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, man. Ronald Finkley says, Kell Brook, 38-2 with 26 KOs versus Mark Deluca, 24-1 and 13 KOs. 12 rounds for the WBO Intercontinental Junior Middleweight title. Dead Zone, Saturday Night Boxing. WBO. Yeah, you said WBO. And Ronald Finkley says, and then they wonder why T-Bud is a clown. Ronald Finkley says, exactly, Stormybman. It was a check. No legendary status. Yeah, man. That's it. But if he wants to be better, he's going to have to get in there with somebody better. Huh? And that's when we're going to find out. Sister Beverly Rose, Boxing and Entertainment, she says, hey, Stormy, what's going on, sister? How you doing? Are you sisters doing your little show today, the Wine and Grind? I'm ready to listen. You know, I got a lot of the personal stuff out of the way and got a Sunday afternoon to listen to you sisters cook if y'all gonna do your thing today. Barton South D-Town says, that makes a lot of sense how you broke it down. Talk about his management and all the other component that goes with Kell Brook, because he should never have fought Triple G at that time for sure. Hey man, Barton South D-Town, I told you. I know boxing. It's like, I understand there are certain things. He could have gone up to 154, not taken the fight against Triple G. He could have went up there and fought a couple of guys to get adjusted to the weight and challenged one of the other fighters, the Hers, the Charlo, the Harrisons, those guys, and probably fared well against one of them. You understand? And then by today's time, he would have been a middleweight fighter through adjusting and growing. But that's not what he did, and Hearn sold him out. That's unforgivable. And look at what Hearn is doing to your boy Demetrius Andrade right now. Demetrius Andrade, he ain't gonna fight nobody good anytime soon. But he'll be 50 years old over there fighting cab drivers and bartenders, okay? That's what he doing. That's what he doing. And most people don't realize it. But it's like I broke down about Andrade. Andrade has been a pro for 12 years. Everybody talk about his boxing skills and his potential. His boxing days are gone. If he gets in there against a good, young, touted fighter, he gonna turn to jelly. He hasn't had any fearsome competition in his career ever. He's been inundated with lackluster matches and inactivity. And someone in there who's chomping at the bit, who would love to have his name on their resume, they gonna run him the hell up out of there. He signed up with Dazn because he realized he could stay in a safe position. I said this before. And there are other fighters who should have left Dazn way before. A fighter like Kell Brook. He should have left Dazn before he fought Triple G. Because there were enough fighters on PBC side that if he had signed up with someone like that, he would have had a series of good matches. Don't forget, he could have had fights against guys like Granados and Jesse Vargas and those guys. He could have had fights like that. Those were feed your family type fights, right? And eventually have a showdown against a PBC welterweight champion or something like that. He just He did it the wrong way, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. Eddie Hearn don't mean these fighters any good at all. People want to talk about Don King. This man is far worse than Don King, people, because he could get away with far worse because of his pigment. Okay, that's something to put under your cap. Brown on Boxing says Brook could come to Al Heyman's PBC and get all the work he needs. He would make at least $800K or more to fight Charlo, Hurd, Lubin, Harrison. Fight two of them and make damn near $2 million. Sounds good. Sister Denise Ward, she says excellent point, Stormy. And Ronald Finkley says realist boxing talk. And Ronald Haskins says Al gave Brooks a chance. I respect any man who wants to fight. Let's see his next 3 opponents. Will tell how serious he is on becoming great. His next 3 opponents, then you talking about watching him over the next 3 or 4 years. Because he's so damn inactive, man. We probably won't see him no more this year, Kell Brook. You understand? He acted like he wanted a Terrence Crawford fight. Then he tried to say he couldn't make the weight no more. What weight did he fight at last night? And then he wanted Earl Spence again. What? And then he said, you know, nobody wants to fight him. Go sit down somewhere, man. There are people out here doing it, okay? Stepping up to the plate. And I'm telling you, even at welterweight right now for the champs, they better be watching out for that damn Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis, because those 2 guys are coming to clean house. They're going to run some people into retirement or into another division. Those 2 guys right there. Beverly Rose Boxing and Entertainment says, unfortunately not today, Stormy. Wasn't able to catch the fights last night. I'm still trying to catch up on sleep. I hear you, sister. I hear you. Brown on Boxer says, Brook didn't take his career in his own hands. Well, it's hard to do over there when those men who run management and promotional groups over there want you to abide by what they call looking out for you. Al Heyman, being in an advisor role, has set these men up to live comfortably right away, straight away, including being their own promoters and things like that. That's why Al Heyman is he's not liked by those other leeches out there, because when you are your own promoter, you're gaining a greater percentage of your proceeds and everything, and you're in a position to receive more, okay, and bargain with a stronger position. You know, that's what happens when you are a fighter like that on your own promotional group. But fighters who are not, then they have to be subject of what the promoters say, you know, and they're not always looking out for your best interest. They want to make the money off of your back, you know. Ronald Finkley says, appreciated Stormy B, man. Brown on Boxing. One moment, people. One moment. Stormy got to take care of something here. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. Where was I? I forgot what I was saying. I had to take care of something. Brown on Boxing says Brook could save what's left of his career by going to the PBC now. Maybe. He could stall it out. Denise Wards says, I believe Hearn didn't want to pay Jesse Vargas. Yeah. But now Mikey Garcia got that paid for him, right? Leverage. Ronald Finkley says that Ronald Haskins, nobody can win. Al Heyman runs it, bro. Get down or lay down. New media or no media. He says they watching. Trust. Black Murderers Row is real. Bon South D-Town says we could say watch their next three opponents. That applies to a lot of fighters. Canelo, Terrence, Gary Russell Jr., Triple G, AJ. So this applies to all the fighters. You get my point? Yeah, I get your point. And Ronald Haskins says Brooks don't have 3 years. Yeah. Ronald Finkley, he needs to go to Heyman. Bon South D-Town says, I know this discussion is about Kell Brook. It's just hard for me to ignore that there are many fighters who in this same situation to a certain extent. And isn't there something wrong with that? At the end of the day, that so many fighters are in the same situation. They're not active, okay? They're not facing quality opposition. And then when you do see them, they're in there matched up against guys that you know that they could beat in their sleep. All of this is a repeated cycle over and over again, you know? When are we going to see, you know, these guys fight who they should be fighting? The Tyson Fury rematch with Wilder is an easy to make fight because both men are in position to negotiate for themselves. AJ ain't in position to negotiate for himself. So even if he wanted to take that $50 million guarantee, which I know he did, it was his handlers who said, oh, that's not a good deal. You know, if they could have been guaranteed $50 million and AJ was guaranteed something less, they'd go for that. But see, they couldn't make that maximum that they wanted to make off of his neck. That's why he needs to find himself a better a sense of self-managing, self-promoting. And then he goes back and tells Hearn everything that Deontay spoke to him about. What a fool. Now they know what your intent would be. You've revealed these things, and they are never going to let you be in a position to do it for yourself. When they get through with AJ, he will be without titles. He will have multiple losses. And he'll be groveling to sit at the table with somebody if he wants to continue to box. He may not even want to continue to box after he get his ass whooped a time or two more. He may not even want that. But you could bet they going to ride his ass like that jockey. First Street, nigga. Huh? They going to gallop in on his ass and until he conk out. Then they going to step over and get them another stallion. That's how they do it in boxing. Ronald Finkley says, when Wilder decapitates Fury, watch where this boxing shit goes. To the moon. Trust. The process is excellence. And Bottom South D-Town says, facts. Yeah, man. It's what it is. That is what it is. So, where we at? So, but look here, man. You know, I've talked enough. this afternoon. I'm gonna pass the baton, let somebody else come in and do their thing. Stormybman just wanted to come on out here and talk a little bit about the Dazn fight. I didn't get a chance to do it live last night because we had gone from one series of fights to another card and everything, and I didn't want to be up all night sleepy and everything. So I thought I'd come out here this afternoon, do an afternoon show. I appreciate everybody that's come through, check me out, smash the like button, and check out the show from last night, because it was a good stream. It went on a lot longer than this one, and I think that there were some people out there who were surprised to hear some of what I had to say. So with that being said, Stormybman is going to be up out of here. I want to say shout out to the LDBC. Keep it moving. Keep supporting the channels, the brothers and sisters out there doing their work. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.